Y'all can do this too. You will do this too. You got it?
Yeah.
Thank you. Whew. It's my turn. What's up, y'all? How you doing? Look, I came all the way from England to preach to y'all, okay? I came to preach to y'all. I came to talk to you, graduates. How you doing? We're going to have church. Feel free to follow along. And you can talk back. I like that. And I'm not going to keep you long because it's hot. I've never prayed for a cloud more in my life than I pray for now. Let me start by saying thank you. Thank you, Clark Atlanta University. Thank you, President Dr. Roland Johnson and his beautiful wife, Irene Johnson. Thank you very much. Thank you to the Board of Trustees and to the many distinguished alumni gathered here with us today. And congratulations to my fellow honorees. To Billy and to Kenya, you are absolutely amazing. I am humbled to be in your presence and to be here with you and to be here with all of you. Can I get a shout out before I get started? To the inspiring faculty and the staff who are with us here today, who helped you get through this. They worked so hard that you can have this day, a great day for you and a great day for them. And to the class of 2018 sitting in front of me and all over the world, I am very honored to be here, and I hope to encourage you on this auspicious occasion to offer whatever wisdom that I can before you and before you leave this eminent institution and head out to the wide, wide world that's actually smaller than you think. This is it. This is it. This is the beginning of the end. I'm kidding, of course. It's not the beginning of the end. A lot of people, though, some in the news business, love telling you that the beginning of the end is here, and a lot of them really believe it, too. If you hear only one message from me today, please remember this. Don't believe them. Do not believe them. We don't move forward by preparing to crash. Fear is not the answer. I did not come here today to be your typical commencement speaker, so I hope if that's what you want, then you're not going to get that. Did y'all hear me? Did you hear me? All right, I can hear you now. I'm going to say it again. I did not come here to be your typical graduation speaker. I came here to tell the truth. I came to spill the tea. I came to deliver the word. I came to preach. Do you hear me? I hope you hear me. I didn't come here to make you afraid, though. Don't believe that. You have worked too hard to get where you are right now, to start this journey with an extra ounce of fear. Don't be afraid. Fear not. I'm telling you, I'm a living example. I'm going to give you good reasons why. I want you to look around. And I mean that. Look around. All of you. You are surrounded today by people who love and believe in you. They are not here today because this is the beginning of the end, but because it's the beginning of the beginning. So before we do anything else, I want you to give it up for those people who want you off their payrolls, for your parents, for your relatives, and your friends. Give it up for them. They are out here with you today because they believe in you. And I believe in you too. So are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, well, let's go. I came here to tell you that slavery was not a choice. No matter who tells you slavery was a choice, no matter what exalted names that they may bestow upon themselves, Jesus, Yeezy, whoever, slavery was not a damn choice. I came here to tell you that your blackness is so beautiful that it almost hurts my eyes to look out at you. That I almost have to look away because you are so stunningly beautiful, all of you. The skinny to the thick, the short to the tall, the brother with the afro and the one with the fade, okay? The sister with the perm and the one with the natural. The one with the wig and the one with the weave. The one with the twist and the one with the braids. It is all good. It is all beautiful. And don't let anybody tell you, insinuate, or even by accident make you feel otherwise. that you are not beautiful, that you are less than, that you are less talented, less smart, that you are less deserving, that you deserve to be paid less than your white counterpart. Don't believe it. Don't believe it. That you don't deserve to be promoted, period, end stop. That you don't deserve to be listened to, that you don't deserve to be respected, that you cannot make it. Look around. We are living examples that you cannot be president if you want to be, because clearly the standards have been lowered so much. So why can't you be the one to raise them back up to where they were before? In the previous administration, and the one before that, and the one before that, and the one before that. Oh, I'm here to tell you what you need to hear because I live it every day. All right? And I've been on earth long enough, twice as long as most of you here. That's right, black don't cry. You better believe it. And not a day goes by that I am not underestimated, still, at 52 years old, that I am not... There you go. All right, black don't crack. That I am not underappreciated, that I am not undervalued, and still I rise, and still I rise, and still I rise. And you want to know why? You want to know why? Because I have no choice. And you have no choice. Even with everything I just said, there is no excuse for you, and there's no excuse for me either. You built this. We built this. And when I say we built this, I'm talking about our ancestors. I'm not just talking about Clark Atlanta University. I'm not just talking about Atlanta. I'm not just talking about Georgia. I'm talking about America. This is America. Don't catch you slipping up. Don't catch you slipping up. Look what I'm whipping up. This is what I'm whipping up. This speech that you need to hear. All right? Whether you realize it or not, graduates, you are the new black power movement. Hear me. You are a living history. You are living history. You are living a revolution. Let me see that. You are living a revolution. You may not be able to see it, but this is a revolution. I told you I've been around a long time. I've been around since the 1960s. That's right, again, black don't crack. Make sure you moisturize. I was born during the time of riots, when riots broke out in unexpected places like Lansing, like Cleveland, otherwise quiet places that had been quiet for far too long. The year I was born, Bobby Seale and Huey P. Newton founded another group that you should relate to. You know what that is? It's the Black Panthers. All right, Panthers? The Black Panthers. Thousands of brothers and sisters like you and me who took to the streets to confront the police and a system that had betrayed them. I know a revolution when I see one. During those years from 1966 to 1968, the Supreme Court ruled that police had to inform suspects of their rights before arresting them. And here we are, more than a half century later, and too many of us are being read our rights before being locked up. Too many of us are being struck down before there's a moment to be read our rights. Too many of us are not allowed to live the life that is endowed by our Creator, which the government is supposed to protect. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I know a revolution when I see one. 50 years ago this year, Dr. King was snatched away from us. Yet the work he did and the danger he endured forged the civil rights movement. I know a revolution when I see one. So I want you to listen to me. Come on now. Who said come on? Church. I know a revolution when I see one. And this is just the beginning of a new one. Young folks, I see you. You're tired. You're fed up. Maybe this is the beginning of the end. I'm tired of hearing about the beginning of a movement. The movement is here. It is now. I know a revolution when I see one, and so do you. It is right here among us. The revolution has been here for decades. It is up to us to finish this heroic journey. It is up to you and to me and to everyone who has ever felt the tide drawing them back into the water. Swim against the undertow, and you might drown. Swim with it, and you free yourself. But it's more than you alone. Earlier this month, My contemporary Ta-Nehisi Coates wrote a piece in The Atlantic that you should read, and it said this: "It is often easier to choose the path of self-destruction when you don't consider who you are taking along for the ride, to die drunk in the street if you experience the deprivation as your own and not the deprivation of family, friends, and community." So take a moment to look around again. Look at all the faces, these beautiful souls who feel you. I feel you. You are not alone, and you are part of a community. Don't forget that. You are going out there on your own. You are going out there, not going out there on your own. You are going out there with us. And change isn't just on your shoulders. It is on our shoulders. And you cannot give up, because if you give up, you are giving up on her and him and her and her and him and me. You're giving up on all of us. When you abandon hope, when you succumb to fear, when you descend into that darkness that others are creating every day, you deprive us of the light that only you can shine. We need your light, graduates. We need your light, Panthers. There are a whole lot of live wires out there in the world right now, a whole lot of gasoline pulling up too. We've all seen that movie. I'm sure Kenya has written some of those movies. The superhero has to make some tough choice as a gasoline rushes towards the spark. But Hollywood wouldn't make any money if something didn't explode. But it's not a good superhero movie unless a Black Panther prevails. Let me tell you that. You know what? This is not the beginning of the end. It is the end of the beginning. We have dreamed about a different world for too long, a world of equality and opportunity and justice. Those dreams were the beginning, but enough with the beginnings. It is time for the second act. And in that second act, dreams become realities. Possibilities become probabilities. Opportunities become changes. And ideas become actions. Funny thing about the time we live in right now, your time, our time, the transformation from idea to action can occur in the most unlikely places, the humblest of circumstances. Teenagers in Florida forced the conversation around the nation about gun violence in schools. Some of those revolutionaries aren't old enough to even vote yet, but it hasn't stopped them from their purpose. Women, you listening? That was my Louisiana accent. You listening? Women who remain silent for far too long have come forward to exact justice from men who abused their power. Men who tried to stamp out the beautiful beginning of equality long overdue. The words that lift them up, me too. Those words have created a momentum of change in Hollywood and on Wall Street and on Main Street all across the country. Are you ready to join that revolution? Are you ready to join that revolution? I'm right there with you. We're all there with you. That's what Me Too teaches us. And that's what the Parkland students are teaching us. Give us your powerful ideas, your simmering aspirations, your sparks of imagination, and blazes of bravery. Now is the time. You have more tools at your disposal than any generation in history. You have more resources that you can possibly imagine. And as you look around today, remember that you have a community that is invested in you and is committed to your potential. Failure is not an option. Not from this illustrious group. No, no, no. Failure is not an option. I look out at you and I see pioneers. I see legends. I see moguls. I see firebrands. I see innovators. I see muckrakers. I see preachers, activists, prophets, pathfinders, presidents, entrepreneurs, educators, victors, and visionaries. I see leaders, and I'm looking at you. I see you, class of 2018. I see you. I see a generation that will not be satisfied until their brothers and sisters can live without fear of being shot down in their own backyard for the audacity to arm themselves with a mobile phone. I see a family that will not rest until their children can wear a hoodie at any time of the day and come home safely. I see that. I see compassionate, you can applaud for that. You can applaud for that. I see compassionate people who believe love is always the answer. That it doesn't matter whether you are a boy or a girl who loves a boy or a girl or anything in between, because love is the greatest gift and we are born to bestow it. Here's something that I want you to remember about love. You may run out of money, and you probably will at some point. You'll get it back. You may run out of time. You'll get another chance, but you can never run out of love, ever. And no one should ever stand in love's way or prevent it from dwelling within you. I see you, Clark Atlanta, and I see you, class of 2018. I see a gathering of citizens who walk the talk, who get involved, who ask the right questions, and stay woke. Because it's not one thing, it is one thing to rant on Twitter, but quite another to break out of your bubble and question authority, empathize with your neighbors, and act in honor. I see a community of organizers. Remember when some people poked fun at organizers? Until one of them became a president. I am here to tell you your power and your potential are intertwined with your community. Organizers power us forward. Organizers win wars. Organizers win votes. Organizers win hearts, minds, and actions. From Dr. King to John Lewis and Andrew Young, two lions of Atlanta history who marched with Dr. King and continued to organize us and focus our attention on the progress we have yet to make. Like the late, great Barbara Jordan, who was not afraid to question the integrity of a sitting president back in 1974. Imagine a black woman doing that in 1974 and defend the solemnity of our Constitution, even though at times she felt excluded from its preamble. We the people. Her words that day should motivate every one of you to be organizers. She said, and she was looking forward, pettiness cannot be allowed to stand in the face of such overwhelming problems. So today, we are not being petty. We are trying to be big, because the task we have before us is a big one. I see a revolution right here. Yes, I do. I see a congregation of truth seekers. And let me be clear, there is only one kind of truth, real truth. It is the truth that is found in objectivity, in facts, in science, in reason, in logic. I see you, a group who is curious to understand rather than undermine, who isn't satisfied when they are lied to again and again and again, who demand honesty and integrity from everyone, but especially from their leaders. I see an inspiring assembly of great Americans who knows that this land was never our land, but that the future of this country is and always shall be our sacred responsibility. This is an assembly that recognizes that the American dream is a promise, not an appropriation. American dream is a promise, not an appropriation, that we grow stronger by expanding our diversity and welcoming others in, especially those who live according to hope and work. I see you, class of 2018. I'm looking at you. I see a generous flock, generous with their time, generous with their hearts, generous with giving back, like two great alumni here for us today, Kenya and Rainbow Barris, who have set a bold example by creating their scholarship fund, because they know, just like I know, that we are all in this together. Now, very soon, you will walk out of these halls with diplomas, newly minted Black Panthers. Chadwick Boseman, eat your heart out. You're about to be graduates, but you can't stop learning. I chose to be a journalist because I wanted to know the story. And while you may not pursue a career in the news business, I hope you will all keep chasing the story, your story. I don't care how smart you are. You have no idea today where life will lead from here. But you can always pursue your story. The metric for success is up to you. Some of you already have jobs. Some of you don't. However, don't worry about others' expectations of you. Surpass your own expectations. Tell your story, not theirs. Let me level with you. You are going to be labeled, that you should be old enough to know that at times, but your job is to move forward. That is your job, and give yourself your own label. You can choose whether or not to share it, but you must always own it and reserve the right to relabel yourself. Maybe you'll start this crazy grown-up life as an engineer or a manager or even a scientist. Maybe you should reserve the right to label yourself a poet, an artist, or a rock star. Maybe you're both. We need more rock star scientists and poetic managers. So own your story. Here's the thing about labels. Never let them own you. You are not a label. In fact, I challenge you to define yourself beyond your profession. It is too easy for us to describe who we are by referencing what we do for a living. Who are you? Oh, I'm an engineer, I'm a doctor, I'm a journalist. Instead, you should try describing yourself by your values, your passions, and your circle of friends. A few years ago, I did one of the scariest things that I thought I could ever do, I'd ever done in my life. As a journalist, I've had some pretty high-risk assignments, but this one felt like the riskiest yet. It was when I wrote my story down in a memoir, and I had to let go of a lot of labels and be honest with myself, and I had to decide how much of my life that I was willing to share. Some of what I shared was frightening, was scary, but the moment my story was out there, I felt myself, more myself than I ever had in my life. I made my own label, and I ignored a lot of others, and I encourage you to do the same. However, there is one label that you will never shake, that you will always be a Panther. You are also a revolutionary. I am excited to see where you go from here. I'm confident that you will make this university proud, that you will make all of these folks who gathered here proud, and most of all, that you will make yourselves proud. This place was chartered to, as you know, create a bold new future. You are that future. You may have come across this quote. It's by Eleanor Roosevelt, but I'm going to repeat it because I believe that you must heed the advice, and I want you to really listen to me. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. When you go out there, some people will try to discourage you from getting to your bold future. They will disrespect you. They will layer their prejudice onto you without so much as hearing a wise word of what you have to say or admiring the great deeds you are certain to do. You should know this. You've witnessed it every day of your life, and so have I. And don't be misled by anyone who tells you that there are some very fine people on both sides. Anyone who says that doesn't care about black people. He is enabling some very fine people to keep you from voting, to keep you from finding affordable housing, to keep you from closing an ever-widening income gap. Don't believe there are very fine people on both sides. You have many reasons to keep going in spite of the hate that they give. And from this day forward, you have one more. You are a graduate of Clark Atlanta University, and you are part of a revolution. And you have no reason to feel inferior. In fact, you must remind yourself every day that you have great power. You have accomplished so much already, and you will certainly accomplish so much more. It is on you, it is on us to see this movement through, to make it the beginning to the end, to an end. And if you need a soundtrack to push that movement through, be sure, graduates, it is the 2005 Kanye and not the 2018 one. Can we all agree on that? We need artists who speak from their souls in 4 hours, who are woke enough to startle a sitting president with truth rather than co-signing his plans to whitewash our history. You are not inferior. You have power. You have history on your side. And with that power and that history comes great responsibility, an obligation to pay it forward. Here's how you fulfill that obligation. First of all, you are officially alumni of this prestigious university, this prestigious institution. You have taken your last exam, but you are not done. Stay involved. Pave the way for the next generation of Clark Atlanta graduates. Network with your fellow alumni and keep this place alive in all that you do. Then, beyond your Panther network, commit yourself to helping those who aren't here today but need your smarts and your grit and your unwavering ability to overachieve. They need you to not forget about them, the black boys, the black girls going to underfunded and overcrowded schools who are too easily discouraged by the likelihood of a dim future and a lack of opportunity. They need your beautiful vibrancy. They need your promising example. They need your presence. Be there for them. They need you to do all that you can do to make a positive change, to give back, and to truly make this a triumphant beginning of a gloriously lit ending. Because you are powerful beyond belief when we stand up individually, and we can create a brighter future when we move together. I know a revolution when I see one. Right now, I am looking at that revolution. The revolution is you. Congratulations, class of 2018. I am so proud of you. Good luck in all that you do. I love you, and thank you.